It is Ruby and Sapphire Day. I guess EX Ruby and Sapphire. So we got a little lonely Deathstalks on the first page here. But it's okay, he's got his pal, the reverse, on the backside. These are crazy hard to find without scratches on them, the reverses. And oftentimes, if they weren't kept somewhere flat and dry, then they end up getting a nice Pringle curl to them, which usually can come out if you just flatten them in a book or sleeve them and put them in a binder. Though it'll kind of work its way out. We got Hollow Wailord on this side, along with some Blaziken buddies. Now this set is super interesting because there's all kinds of variations, and I guess we'll get into that. But so down at the bottom, some of these sets, there is a I'll see if I can get it to show up on camera. There's a code there, like below the weakness, right here. And for whatever reason, they printed them with different codes. I don't know if it was like the sheet to be able to map the sheets for their personal records or what it was. But yeah, it's some extra variants to collect. I mean, most of the cards, like usually there's like 3 different serial numbers for the commons and 2 different serial numbers for the uncommons, and that's about it. So you don't have to worry about getting a reverse and different serial numbers. I mean, if you just wanted to ignore it in general, you could. There's also from certain decks, mostly theme decks and such, you can get different copyright dates on the bottom, and there's also 2004 variations of Ruby and Sapphire that have no e-reader on them. So we'll see that with I think it's our Blaziken. It's a Blaziken. So they're all theme deck cards, or the battle set that I opened on the channel. I think it was the first video that I uploaded. There's some crazy variations in there, and then also some of the theme decks will also have differences. So there's a lot of collecting the same card in this set, which some people might like, some people might not like. If they were expensive, it would certainly be a pain. But right now, the challenge is mostly how do I get all the different copies without getting duplicates of the same serial number, or sometimes if you order them, you'll get the 2004 variant instead of the one from the actual set. So it's different. I still to this day don't know exactly why they did it. It's probably safe to assume that it was something to do with they wanted to check the packs. You'll see here, like, they have the e-reader kind of border, not quite as aggressive and up the side as our previous sets with WotC. And I think at this point they just had the Pokedex entry in them when you swipe them into your game. And then our trainers themselves don't have any e-reader on them at all. So here we go. You can see I've ordered a ton of the reverses, anything that I could find, and most of them are just really roughed up. They have that like full foiling, so if they get rubbed against stuff, they probably have scratches all over them. And this is where we get into our these are the old school EXs, like the lowercase EXs. So I guess we can take a look at those. We have Chansey here. These are extremely hard to find without damage on them, just because all this bare foil that's around the outside is typically all scratched up. It's not too hard to get wear on that. And then also a lot of them have a lot of bare hollow foil around the Pokemon. So our Electabuzz, he's got kind of a power plant thing going on behind him, which is pretty neat in the foil. Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan seems pretty popular in this era. I guess another pretty amazing artwork. There's a lot of awkward cards in around here too, especially when we get into later when we get into EX Team Aqua versus Magma. We'll see a lot of CGI, really awkward early 2000s CGI. Our Lapras there, which at the time I'm sure was very impressive. Oh, here we go. We have a Magmar EX. There we go. We got some CG going on there. We got the full-on Magmar duckbill popping out at us. It's like get the 3D glasses for it. We got Mewtwo with the palm. Every time I see this card, I think of the person that has the swirl that's kind of right in his palm. I don't know if this one has one like on his finger. It's the finger air. It's got the glowing swirl finger. We're missing one. I can't for the life of me remember which card that's supposed to be. Then we got our Sneasel here. Extremely nice. Gotta like these old EXs. So here we go. That's the end of that. So here's where I got into. I started putting these are the serial number variants, and I'm still gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of like Ruby and Sapphire bulk and sort out the actual serial numbers that I need, and then I don't know what I'll do with the rest. Maybe hopefully someone else needs some Ruby and Sapphire cards. And then here at the back, this is where we get into the battle decks. So you have the Blaziken deck and you have the Gardevoir deck, and they both came with a hollow and non-hollow version. At the bottom here, I don't know if I get it to show up, but we have 2004 dated instead of 2003, which is when the initial set came out. And then we don't have any e-reader at the bottom of the Pokemon either. So this is when they were phasing out the e-reader, and when they reprinted these cards for those decks, they decided to scrap it or go with the new format, with the lesser format. So here's just, and these are all cards that I opened myself from that battle deck. They were pretty inexpensive at the time. I'm sure they've gone up in price now, but I'm kind of glad that I got to open it and complete those. I don't know. There might be a couple other 2004 cards, or maybe even 2005 cards from this set or other sets. They came from other theme decks and such, but we'll have to see. Okay, yeah. So this is a 2005 Water Energy. And I don't know what that came from. Probably one of the Rocket decks, but I'm not sure. One of the theme decks that came out around that era would have those variants in it. Pretty interesting. A lot of stuff that's I've learned kind of collecting it, which is kind of neat to discover a lot of those things on your own, especially when they're not really mapped out for you or easily accessible information. I know I had like a foreign language site that I was checking out that had a lot of these variants listed. But yeah, if you're ever looking into it and you're watching this video, just reach out to me and be happy to pass that link along and answer any questions about it. Alright guys, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.